For generations, people have enjoyed sailing, and although it may be just a hobby or summer weekend sport, some boating knowledge is needed to ensure your safety as well as the safety of others. Much like learning to drive a car, there are rules of the road, so to speak, and many other considerations to deal with. For these reasons, it's important to get the proper training before you head out on the water.
Roll tax, guys. No wind, so roll tax.
So, where can you go to get training? Well, that's what this program is all about. A variety of clubs offer sail training to members and non-members. For the purposes of this show, we'll visit the Nepean Sailing Club to discover sailing. The Nepean Sailing Club's sailing school is based in what used to be the main clubhouse. It's not the most luxurious of settings, but who wants to learn sailing indoors anyway?
Boat's flat, boat is big. Otherwise, the boat's just going to heel and it's just going to tend to head up, not to get it.
Hands-on experience followed by a debriefing is the key to training here. Keith Hobbs is the director of the sail training program, and as such, he is responsible for both youth and adult courses.
The goals of the youth program, the sailing school, the club, the Canadian Yachting Association, it's a common goal of promoting sailing and ensuring that sailing is accessible. And we're in a fortunate position here to be able to do that because we have excellent facilities that have been assembled in cooperation with the city, but also with a large amount of volunteer labor, and we're able to offer the public programs none at a very reasonable cost. The courses are mostly practical in nature. We provide as much sailing time on the water as we can, but naturally we provide enough theory to enable an understanding and appreciation for what the student is trying to do or needs to do to be comfortable in the boat. And in conjunction with this, we do stress safety. It's an essential ingredient to all of the training activities. That means that students are wearing life jackets at all times when they're on the dock or in the boat. The boats themselves have positive buoyancy or flotation, so they're unsinkable. And we stress the importance of staying with the boat.
It's a comprehensive school, teaching the basics of sailing as well as a healthy attitude to the sport. But most graduates find that they've gotten a lot more from the program than just a newly acquired skill.
The objectives there is to provide the usual capabilities, skill levels, self-confidence, and the opportunity to meet friends, have fun, try sailing in new settings, new venues at other clubs, and develop a sense of fair play. And whether it's competitive or non-competitive sailing, we have both opportunities. We don't insist that everyone becomes a racer. Just at the adult level, you can parallel this situation. We have people who cruise and enjoy that. We have racers, and we have social members, and we have social activities for the youth as well.
All sail courses follow the standards of the Canadian Yachting Association. This means that training is of a high caliber. Instructors are trained to teach sailing and must also meet the Yachting Association safety requirements in swimming, first aid, powerboat operation, anything that may improve the instructor's ability to teach. Starting at the elementary level, students learn the fundamentals, knowledge of the boat, the parts of the boat, particular knots that are required, safety concerns, and then it's into the water.
They start off on a progressive way, discovering the boat, balancing in the boat, and it's step by step from learning how to comfortably get in the boat, dock, coming back, and sailing at various angles to the wind. And so that by the end of the third level, particularly, they're very independent as far as being able to handle a boat on their own. First and foremost, it's a love of sailing that we try to convey and to the youth, whether this is recreational, general interest sailing, whether it's competitive sailing. Just to be involved is what we want to see, and to see enjoyment through that.
In the intermediate levels, or bronze sail program, you step up into a two-person boat with additional sails, including the colorful balloon-like sail, the spinnaker. Having mastered the new rigging and sails, you can move into racing in the silver and gold sail programs. The silver sail program concentrates on racing tactics and strategies, racing rules, sail theory, race committee and protest committee, and a lot of fast sailing. Beyond this is for those really bitten by the sail racing bug. The gold sail program is for you if you're interested in entering major regattas, qualifying for teams, or in becoming an orange level coach.
We're able to refine the skills they've achieved in the basic sailing courses we offer, and to enable them to progress at their own rate based on the amount of time they have to spend in the boat. And as those at the Olympic level will indicate, good sailing is all a matter of how much time you spend in the boat. And the indication of the success of that is that we have been able here to develop some young sailors who've been able to take part in 3 world championships in the Optimist class, and this has provided them with an opportunity to meet people from 50 countries, and it's enabled them to represent this club in venues such as Japan and Portugal and Greece. And this is an opportunity that's available at reasonable cost to everyone. Sailing is another sport. It's another opportunity to deal with questions of fair play, of doing one's best without overstressing performance and achievement. A question of good sportsmanship, as someone said, to win without boasting and to lose without excuse. That those sorts of values, general competence on the part of the individual, and question of respect for their fellow sailors, or respect for the equipment that's involved. Many of the things we want young people and others to share in terms of the value system in life can be conveyed through the opportunities to take part in sailing on an individual basis or in a question of a group. And so that combined with fresh air, good winds and sunshine makes for a very worthwhile activity.
Kevin Lewis is the head instructor at the Nepean Sailing Club, as well as the Silver Sail race coach.
At my level, there's a lot of racing rules and what they apply to. They actually wrote the test this morning, and the test takes like 2 hours to do, because it's all, it's just like rules in any sort of game or anything like that. You have to know what rules what you can and can't do, and what other people competitors can't do. So it gets sort of technical at my level. We try to keep it fun and keep it on a windier day like this. For more advanced kids, we get them to do. They like to go fast, right? So there's certain points of sail that go faster than others. So we get them to do it's called reaching, the faster points of sail. So we get them to do sort of reaching things, and we give them time in between to do some fun stuff in between. It's not all drill, drill, drill.
Of course, as Keith mentioned earlier, not everyone is into the fast-paced sailing style of racing. You may prefer a more leisurely form of sailing, cruising in a keelboat. We'll learn more about that right after this break. Welcome back. Our next stop in our introduction to the Nepean Sail Training Program is at the keelboat level.
There are rules of the road on the water, just as there are on land, and they're a little bit different between the power boats and the sailboats. And on sailboats, it depends which side of the boat your sails are on. In this particular case, he was the right-of-way boat because of the way he was coming with the wind coming over the starboard side, and we was to keep clear of him. So there's a number of rules like that which we apply in order to...
Here you can start off with a 3-hour lesson which gives you a general feel for keelboats and cruising. Should you wish to continue, there's a basic cruising course and an intermediate cruising course available. These programs concentrate on the rules of the road, chart reading, course plotting, VHF radio and other essentials. The club is also qualified to give the Canadian Yachting Association's exam for certification.
I'll give you a little bit of help with the winch handle, and if you turn one more turn around, it helps the winch to grab it. So put one more turn around.
Sail training has actually been taking place on this particular site a year before the club actually formed. But the youth program, with its special emphasis on youth, the recreational sailing in the evenings, the race training program, that's been going on for about 8 to 10 years now. And it's a program that is attracting increasing interest.
After nearly 10 years, the sail training programs have developed a great deal and are now considered to be some of the best courses offered in this area. From somewhat humble beginnings, the Nepean Sailing Club's sail training program has surpassed expectations. Keith Hobbs founded the youth program in 1985. This was to ensure that everyone had sailing opportunities, both competitive and non-competitive, in addition to the sailing courses. The youth racing team now ranks third in the province and is tops in Eastern Ontario.
The program developed with just a few sailors getting together informally on Tuesday nights with the assistance of an instructor, and they would this was an Optimus, and we still have that same every Tuesday night as Optimus sailing, and has been for the last 8 years or more. And it's a non-competitive setting where a young person can work on the skills they've been learning in sailing school, and that they could be taking a course at the time, or they might be between courses, so to speak, and just want to maintain their interest and capabilities in sailing before they go on to a higher course level.
The club also initiated Oyster, the Ottawa River Youth Sail Training Regatta. It takes place at the end of August and gives students an opportunity to test their abilities with those clubs sharing the Ottawa River throughout Ontario and Quebec. For some students, it's the first regatta they're participating in, but not usually the last. Other additions to the training program include a course in windsurfing. 1993 was the first year that windsurfing was offered. This sport, with its free and easy attitude, is actually a challenge to learn. To help overcome any obstacles, the club makes sure they get only the best instructors, and it would be hard to top Carol Ann Ali. Carol Ann was the 1992 female representative for Canada in the Olympics windsurfing category. We'll learn more about innovations to the Nepean Sail Training Program right after this. Last but not least in the Nepean Sail Training Program is the introduction of disabled sailors. George Simpson has been organizing the program along with the help of the Nepean Sailing Club.
We're still in the process of organizing a local club here, in the sense of getting sponsors and hopefully getting funding to actually purchase a boat for next year. The boats are fairly expensive, and that's probably the problem, the area that we need some assistance with. We've got the endorsement through the Nepean Sailing Club in terms of backing and using their instructors in terms of safety and so on, which makes the program ideal. This facility here at the Nepean Sailing Club is ideal. The whole yacht club is accessible, so it's ideal for people with disabilities. The type of boats that we're using are called Sunbirds, and what's ideal about them is that they're untippable. And they're ideal for a person with any kind of disability, even in terms of high quadriplegic, which I am as a high quad myself. They're ideal boats because once you're in the boat, you're completely in control of the boat yourself, which gives you the freedom of being able to sail like anyone else. And this is my second year of sailing. I'm actually going back again to Vancouver in August to participate in what we call a Mobility Cup. And it's disabled sailors from all. This year is going to be from North America, as there's some coming from the States, as well as right across Canada.
If you're interested in any of the sailing programs we've made today, why not call the Nepean Sailing School? The number is 828-81. It may just be the first step you take to discover sailing.